Many of you guys have probably seen my video on 373 gears versus 430 gears on the 7.3 liter and 6.8. It would be a relevant conversation as well, but now it's gone. Engines. It's been a very successful video for me. A lot of people have tuned in, learned, subscribed because of that video, and I bet a lot of people learned a lot of things. But how does 373 versus 430 play out in 2027? With the 6.8 being gone, the 7.3 losing 10 horse and 45 foot-pounds, and getting down to the exact same foot-pound measurement as the 6.8, but at 300 more RPM, about 300 more RPM than the 7.3 was rated at peak torque before. It was rated at its peak torque number at about 4,000, according to the data that we found after my initial video on the 7.3 losing power. It's about 4,300 now is what they're claiming as peak torque. So that means that the engine has moved up slightly. Its torque band has moved up slightly in RPM. So what is that really going to mean to you guys? Well, as you guys know, the tremor is a great way to ensure that you guys are getting 430s. And I brought that up before. If you want to not screw around with wondering if you're shopping abroad for a truck, will my truck have 430s that I'm looking to buy? Well, if it has a tremor and it's a gas, it has 430s. And again, if you're looking for diesels and you don't want to have 331, which I understand, 355 would be what I'd want to have. With the 10-speed, I wish I had far more. I wish I had 373s or 410 option in a single rear-wheel truck with a diesel. I would much rather have those 3 overdrive gears work for me as opposed to basically lose out on 10th, most likely, for heavier loads until you get to higher speeds. Considering Michigan, where I live, our speed limits are commonly in the not city, I guess, but in the environments that I engage in, generally 45 to 55 miles an hour. So I'm basing my opinion on, can I be in 10th gear at 55 miles an hour doing whatever I want to do? And in a lot of cases, yes, my 7.3 will tow a good bit of stuff, still be able to hold 10th gear. I live in flatland, and tow what I want to tow in 10th gear. Where it starts to not be able to hold that is with heavier and heavier weights and anything less than about 65 miles an hour. So in that video I discussed, 7.3 works really, or 373s work really well for me, except for heavy weight being towed at a slower speed or in foothills where the truck is trying to find where it can hold a gear and it's constantly going up and down to or whatever, so screaming and then dropping back down. That gets annoying. I do use the manual functionality once in a while. Jacob at American Automotive Channel, he recommended to me, and he made a really great point because he tows with 355 gears with a 7.3. He said if you lock out a gear a little bit earlier, let's just say you just know you're not going to get into 10th, just lock it down into 9th, and then it won't accidentally kick down more gears than you would have if you hadn't locked out 10th. I have found that to work. You can check out his videos on that subject as well. He makes some awesome content on this as well. Definitely a good recommendation there. If you just know you're not going to get into 10th, just go ahead and lock out that 10th, and then you're not dropping down so many gears where the truck is panicking, like, oh, we got to go way down now, and then it overshoots way down, you're up at 4,000 RPM, then it's like, oh, okay, we don't quite need 4,000, we'll upshift again. Then you're at 3, and it's like, oh, well, I don't quite need to have 3, maybe one more, and then you're right back at maybe, 8th or 9th where you should have been in the first place. So if you just are in 9th, first of all, it won't panic as much, and maybe you'll just kick down into 7th as opposed to going down to the 6th. So a good bit of recommendation for you guys. But how is it going to matter with this new power rating and the higher RPM that it makes its torque at? Well, a couple observations. The way that they have these things calibrated is they want to have them get into converter lockup as fast as possible. The 410 speed generally will get into converter lockup in second, if not for sure third, and it'll hold converter lockup the rest of the way up. In first, the converter is unlocked, so of course the torque converter can allow slip, just like a clutch would allow slip. The torque converter allows slip so that you can stop and take off and things like that. It quickly gets up into converter lockup, which is really, really good for fuel efficiency. If I could make a choice, first of all, I want to say it's not that the 7.3 is going to not be able to do, we're going to be honest, about 99% of what my truck can do. It's just, this derate is not a huge deal. It's not the end of the world. Keep in mind, again, you have 10 speeds and you have a torque converter. Anytime the engine may not have enough torque, well, the torque converter can unlock, and then the torque converter is going to amplify about 2x the torque that the engine's making, and then the gear is multiplying that torque times the gear ratio, and if you're in low, then the transfer case then would would multiply that torque again, but if you're in high, it's still 1-to-1, and then the axle ratio then multiplies that number again. So it's very easy to have 10,000 foot-pounds of torque at the axle input, and then of course the radius of the tire is a lever arm that takes torque away. So to get your resulting torque on the ground, it's of course taken away by that radius in relation to a foot. So if you have, like, you know, on a 30-inch tire would have 15 inches of radius, and you'd have, you know, 17, 18 inches if you had 34, 35, whatever. That's kind of how that works a little bit. If I'm going to lose torque value, if I'm going to lose horsepower value, and if I'm going to make peak torque at a higher RPM, I would recommend that you step up to 430s earlier. In my experience with this truck, anything less than 10,000 pounds on flat land is more or less a non-thought. Anything 10 to 12,000 pounds, if you're on flat land, yeah, you notice it's there, but it's not a gigantically huge deal. 12 to 14, you know, you can definitely feel it back there. It's going to impact if you need to pull out into traffic. You really got to plan ahead, because it's going to greatly decrease the truck's performance. I will say this truck with 12, 14,000 pounds behind it probably pulls out into traffic with that weight behind it about the same as a 7.3 Power Stroke that stock pulls out with an empty truck. These things are very, very fast and very, very powerful. So when I say the derate isn't going to matter that much, I'm very clear on that. It isn't going to really matter all that much. But if you were doing a regular tow of, I do tow up to 18, 19,000 pounds conventionally with some frequency. If this was a daily occurrence, I would say I would recommend 430 just because it's better. It's not that this 373 truck can't do it, it's that it's better at it. Or the 430 would be exceptionally better at it at that high weight. Anything less than 14,000 pounds, if you're never planning on going above 14,000 pounds on flat land, 373s is all the truck you're ever going to need to have. If you're dabbling in that 14 to 16 area with some frequency, that's where it's like, you know, it's a give or take either way. 430 might be a really good idea, but it's not the end of the world. Don't change your truck purchasing process just because of the gears that happen to be in the truck that you maybe found a deal on, that has the option set that you like. When my friend JT was going through buying a truck, he wanted a tremor and he wanted a center console, and he wanted a specific option set, and that somewhat narrowed his choices because he wanted a specific thing. So it took him a longer time to find the truck. Let's just say you find the perfect truck, but it happens to be 373 gears. Well, that kind of break over there of occasionally 14 to 16, but mostly 14 and less on flat land, 373 baby all day long. Where I think that the real difference is the foothills and in the mountains. I haven't had the opportunity to go into real mountains yet. Part of buying the Nobo is that I do intend to bring my wife and daughter to the Rocky Mountains. I have been to the Rocky Mountains. I've driven through the Rocky Mountains. I've towed through the Rocky Mountains. It is a different experience. I would recommend with a gas truck. It's not saying that you can't tow the truck's full. This truck's rated for 18,000 pounds conventional. That's what it's rated for. The truck will do it. It's going to be most comfortable 10 to 12,000 pounds on grades in the mountains. That is not saying the 373 gear truck won't tow 15, 16, 17, 18,000 pounds in the mountains. It's just saying it's going to work a lot harder for the job. I think that if you're in the mountains and you're intending to tow anything over 10,000 pounds with a 373 truck, with a 27, with the derated setup, I would be heavily looking at a tremor or a truck that's optioned with 430s. I think that is going to get you the best performance for your dollar. From what I've seen, there's very little to any real empty fuel economy loss, amazingly, but it says how efficient the engine is, and it also says with 3 overdrive gears and a torque converter that locks right away, this is a phenomenally efficient powertrain. And because of the 3 overdrive gears, it gets the engine RPM so low that you can still have excellent fuel economy with 430 gears. Excursions did, and Superduties back in the day, 430 has been a Ford gear for a very long time. It's been their heavy-duty towing gear for gas engines since, well, 99, when the 5.4 and the V10 came out. Those engines screamed with a single overdrive trans. 0.71, if I'm not mistaken. Guys, when I make these videos, yes, I do plan them. I know what I want to say. But this is my real experience and knowledge just coming out. I'm not sitting here with a piece of paper like, oh, Doug needs to mention the 40100 is 0.71 overdrive. I'm going by memory here, okay? That should be somewhere between 8th and 9th gear. So the nice thing about having the 10-speed is that 8th gear is kind of overdrive light. It is overdrive, but it's a very favorable overdrive to a hard-working truck. That's why you'll find in most of these things when you're towing heavy, it is most happy in 8th gear. But the fact that you have 8th gear, I think it's 0.897 or something to 1, that's a really awesome overdrive gear. It's not so excessive like my 03 Cummins is a 48RE. I think it's 0.61 or 0.64 or something like that to 1. That is an excessive overdrive gear. Now, with 410 gears that drive has and 33s, that's a really great gear for me. But people have 373s and 35s, that is a very not great gear for them. It's a very, very aggressive overdrive gear, and it's hard for a truck that doesn't have a large numerical gear ratio to handle that overdrive gear. So a lot of people end up being in third all the time or locking out fourth. In this truck, 8th gear is a real money maker, and you can really make a lot of miles in 8th gear no matter the situation. Towing this thing up here in high wind, we are pushing 15, 20 mile an hour headwind, almost in side winds, depending on the angle of travel. The whole way, 8th gear was our best friend. Did it need to jump down to 7th once in a while, like on a little teeny hill with a gust of wind that blew over top? Yeah. 1-to-1 is 7th gear, and that is approximately what 3rd gear would be in a 4-speed transmission generally. In a 5-speed truck trans, that would be 4th gear, and in the 6R100, 6R140, that would be 4th gear. Well, this is 7th gear, so you have all these gear ratios below you to help get going, and also because the torque converter is locked, there's so many different ratios for the trans to choose from. When pulling a load up to whatever speed you need to go, you just have so many options. It's just crazy. So when I say 373s are really, really capable, specifically because of the 10-speed, they are ridiculously capable. And that's kind of the same truth to an extent for 331s in a diesel platform, because of how many ratios you have here and because of the ridiculous amount of torque that a Power Stroke makes. Those are working for you in a good way. I would prefer personally to always have 355 gears in a single wheel truck, because I want to be able to carry 9th and 10th doing anything that I want to do and get that engine RPM as low as I can and be into overdrive as fast as possible. That's what I would prefer to have. Your mileage may vary. I just like the 355 gears. That's what I would choose in a diesel no matter what. So I would either opt for a tremor, or I'd opt to make sure that I had 355s in a non-tremor. In the gasser, the 373s, I'm very, very happy with this truck. I tow very heavy. I tow very long distances. We did 470 miles in a day coming up here. So, I mean, I'm used to putting down a lot of miles in a day. It was a long way for the family, but we did it. 2 dogs bounding around and a 6-year-old in the back and all that stuff. So it is a highly capable rig with 373 gears, but I would opt, if you were to buy a 27, and I do still highly recommend a 27.3, even though there is a derate, I get it. It would irk me too. And as Jacob brought up, he's like, someday I'm going to want to have a new truck, and I really don't want to buy a downgrade. And that's a profound thing to think about, because that's exactly true. And for those of you buying a new truck, why should you have to buy a lesser one, but to get new? And for those of us who already have one of these, if this thing got totaled, I'd be very disappointed, because I love my truck. I love everything about this truck. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but to me, proportionally, the silver looks really good on this truck. The STX front end, I really like the 6-seat interior. I mean, the black, everything being black, all the trim being black, just to me, this is a great looking truck. The wheels look phenomenal. The tires I selected look great on here. We have a winch in the front now. It's a really, really cool truck. I'd be devastated to lose this truck. But it's even more devastating to think that I can't replace it with an equivalent truck to this because of the derate. So I entirely understand where you guys are coming from, but the thing is, I would still recommend the Superduty platform, because I think it's a great truck. I really like the interior room. For being a tall person, I really like the interior headroom. I like the arm and hip width, or shoulder width, I should say. I like the slightly longer bed length, just kind of works into your favor. I really like the new steps that they put in 23 plus. No one's really innovated in beds except for the Ram box. Everyone else has always just had the exact same truck, and not only having a different look, but the fact that it's so handy to be able to step there, and then you could step over to the tire, and then you're in. From the back's a little bit of a stretch, but you can go foot into the, you can't see my hand, foot in the corner, another leg here, and then up. It's another way to do it. That is very nice to be able to reach into my toolbox. That's super duper handy, especially when it's wintertime, and like if you reach into the bed, it's very, very high. To be able to reach in, because the truck's really, really tall, and not slip or something like that. If you're really, really reaching into that bed, to be able to just step on a super aggressive traction surface like those have, works really, really good for me. So I just recommend the Superduty. And I understand, as a gas owner, I understand why somebody would opt for a gas truck, to stay away from the DEF, stay away from all the sensors that are underneath. There's no DPF under there to hang on, to catch up on anything. It can't get ruined in the salt. It can't get damaged by deer that you run over. Of course, we try and watch out for deer, but things happen. I almost hit one on the way up here, actually several. Overall, like I said, I just love my truck, and it is a little bit devastating, is kind of a big word, but to not be able to upgrade to a brand new truck, and in my opinion, the powertrain should get better and stronger over time, not get a derate. Just to go over a couple things, there's been a lot of misinformation going around. These engines have never ever been claimed to be rated at 80 or at a higher at premium fuel. They've always been rated at 87 octane. What they say in the manual, though, is on high heat, heavy towing applications, to maintain engine performance, to go with a higher octane fuel, which is perfectly consistent and true. It's the exact same recommendation they made on V10s back in the day, and Chevy would make on 6.0s, and it's a very common recommendation. It's all very, very true, but they are hiding behind that caveat of, oh, well, we just rated it with a different fuel, to cover up the fact. My bet is this engine did not meet 27 emissions in the configuration that it was in. Like I said before, I bet there's a fleet of these things. Well, I know that there's a fleet running around that are being constantly emissions tested with miles. They're finding out that they are not passing, most likely, emissions in the long run as the cat degrades and as the engine has wear or maybe oil consumption or things like that over time. They're not passing emissions anymore. The cat's performance is degrading, and therefore they have to change the tune to continue to pass emissions. I would not be surprised if we got a letter, owners of these trucks, saying, hey, you need to come in for a powertrain recalibration. I'll bet you that's coming. I will not be doing that. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think I'm on the money on saying, if you're towing regularly in the mountains over 10,000 pounds, 430s, if you're towing on flat land under 14,000 pounds, you're good with 373s. And if you're sometimes dabbling in the 14 to 16, and especially up into higher numbers, you should definitely look at 430s. Do you think I'm on point on that? Let me know down below. Are you guys still considering buying a 27.73 gasser? I'd like to know that too. And let me know if you guys enjoyed the video. I love making videos about this because I guess I've always just lived and breathed trucks. When I'm just having conversations with my friends and we're talking about what we love, just my friends know that this is what I love, and that's why I make YouTube videos for you guys. Take care all and have a wonderful day.